In today's globalized world, migration is inevitable. People move across borders for safety, opportunity, and freedom. But what happens when those who arrive in a new land refuse to integrate, and instead impose their own cultural norms on the host society? That's not immigration. That's occupation. There's a fundamental difference between preserving one's heritage and enforcing it on others. My father once told me, if you go to another country, you respect its laws and customs. If those customs go against your principles, you leave. That's a principle rooted in humility, not arrogance. It's about acknowledging that every land has its own identity, and that identity deserves respect. Take the Jewish people, for example. We've lived in nearly every corner of the world. We've kept our traditions, our history, our faith, but we've also respected the laws of the lands we've entered. We don't demand that others follow our customs. We don't try to reshape societies to fit our worldview. If a country's values clash with ours, we leave. That's dignity. That's respect. And when someone chooses to join us, it's by their own will, not through pressure, deception, or conquest. If a stranger shall sojourn with you and would keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, then he may come near and keep it. Exodus 12, verse 48. Conversion must be voluntary, not coerced, not politicized, not weaponized. We don't evangelize. We don't colonize. We illuminate. And many people shall go and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, that he may teach us his ways. Isaiah 2, verse 3. The nations will come to learn, not to be conquered. That's the Jewish model. Invitation, not imposition. That's dignity. That's respect. Now contrast that with certain groups who enter Western societies and make it clear they have no intention of adapting. Some within the Islamic faith, for instance, believe it's acceptable to deceive non-Muslims, to pretend loyalty while quietly working to convert or dominate. This isn't a fringe idea. It's embedded in the ideology of some who view Western freedoms not as values to embrace, but as weaknesses to exploit. The same can be said of certain cultural groups from places like India, where traditions are sometimes enforced with such intensity that they clash violently with Western norms. Whether it's gender roles, caste systems, or religious practices, the refusal to adapt becomes a form of cultural aggression. This isn't about race or religion. It's about mindset. It's about the difference between those who come to build and those who come to conquer. When a host country bends over backward to accommodate every demand, it risks losing its own identity. Laws are rewritten. Traditions are diluted. Values are compromised. And in the end, the country that once stood strong becomes unrecognizable. Canada, like many Western nations, prides itself on multiculturalism. But when multiculturalism becomes a shield for cultural imposition, it ceases to be a virtue. It becomes a vulnerability. A nation must know who it is before it can welcome others. Otherwise, it risks being reshaped by those who never intended to integrate in the first place. Respect is a two-way street. If you enter a country, you honor its laws, its people, its values. You don't demand that it change for you. You adapt, or you leave. That's not intolerance. That's survival. And if you break the rules of the land, if you violate the cultural values, disrespect the laws, or act in ways that undermine the society, you should be held accountable. Just like getting a ticket for speeding, there should be a warning system. A formal notice, a documented violation. You get one chance to correct your behavior. But if you continue to defy the principles of the country that welcomed you, your visa should be revoked and you should be deported. This isn't cruelty. It's clarity. A country has the right to protect its identity, its values, and its future. If someone enters with the intent to reshape or dominate rather than integrate and contribute, they forfeit the privilege of staying. Immigration is not a right. It's a responsibility. And that responsibility begins with respect.